The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
And good morning here at 5 a.m. Good to have you with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher. Yep, we are heating it up for the kickoff of the fair today.
Yeah, the first day of the fair. There's a lot of changes this year, especially as we deal with the pandemic, so we'll get to that in just a bit.
Your time now is 5:02. The Kern County Fair opens its gates today for the first time in 2 years. 17's Chris Burton caught up with people from around the area to find out who's going and what they're looking forward to. Chris?
That's right, Maddie. Anticipation. That's the biggest feeling I got when asking people about the fair yesterday. Whether it's the food, the entertainment, or just being out there with friends, people are excited, but there's a fair amount of COVID caution and concern as well.
The fair is back, and it's been a long wait for people here in Kern County.
I did miss the fair last year.
Everybody seems to have a favorite booth or activity.
The food. It's always about the food.
The older I get, the more I realize it's much less about spending tons of money, but spending time with, your friends and family.
But coronavirus and its variants loom, forcing some fairgoers to consider whether it's safe to attend. The fair will strongly encourage masking and social distancing, though it won't require proof of vaccination or masks for entry.
Remember the common matters that we were taught early in the COVID: social distancing, washing your hands, and keep your face covered. And I think so long as we do that, they will be able to ensure for themselves that they will have a safe fair.
Masking in particular divides potential fairgoers.
I don't really feel like masks are needed to be at the fair. I've just always felt like we should be able to enjoy our time and not have to feel so like a blanket over our face,
But there are some who do plan on masking up for the festivities.
Yes, I do plan on taking COVID precautions. I am going to wear my mask when I am there. I know everyone's excited, so everyone's going to be there.
And some will be skipping the fair altogether. Alex Barron caught COVID at the height of the pandemic. Masks or no masks, a large group gathering is just too risky for him.
I just think the whole situation that's going on right now, worldwide, I think everybody should, personally think everybody should stay at home just to avoid, more contamination.
Organizers expect to see tens of thousands of people attend today alone.
The fair runs from today through October 3rd. We've got a couple of special admissions days coming up. Tomorrow is Special Needs Day and Friday is Senior Day. In studio, Chris Burton, 17 News.
All right, thank you, Chris. And Houchin Community Blood Bank is continuing to offer a seasonal incentive to donate blood. They're asking for a pint for a pass, providing free tickets to the Kern County Fair. The deal runs through October 1st. They're offering 2 free adult tickets to each whole blood donor and 4 free adult tickets to platelet and plasma donors. To schedule an appointment, visit hcbb.com. And be sure to watch 17 News at Sunrise Friday morning. We'll be live from the fairgrounds from 5 to 7 a.m. But first, 17 News at 5 kicks things off with our coverage of the fair with live shows today, tomorrow, and Friday.
5:05 is our time now, and from our 17 follow-up file, it has been more than 9 months since 2 brothers were reported missing from their home of their adoptive parents in California City. And those who care about Orrin and Orson West want to make sure the boys are not forgotten. A community prayer vigil was held last night in Southeast Bakersfield. It was organized by the boys' biological family, who says they've held monthly prayer gatherings since the boys went missing on December 21st.
Just pray for everybody, the police department, they're on the case, keep them in prayers, and we just pray that somebody sees it one day and will come forward.
Unfortunately, are not unfamiliar with missing children in Bakersfield. So it's something that we will continue to investigate till we come to the truth of the circumstances.
I just can't wait for the moment that the boys get some type of justice, or just either found or alive, and if they aren't, then we just pray for justice and closure.
Anyone with information on the boys' whereabouts is urged to call the Kern Secret Witness line at 322-4040.
17 homicide tracker now, yet another sobering statistic for Kern County. Another person dead, the 100th homicide of the year by our count. The fatal stabbing happened Sunday afternoon on Spruce Avenue in Wasco. Officials identified the man killed as 23-year-old Javier Guadalupe Martinez. 24-year-old Sergio Acosta pleaded not guilty yesterday to a charge of first-degree murder in the case. He's being held without bail and is due back in court September 30th.
Meantime, an investigation is underway following the discovery of a body at Beale Park. Bakersfield police responded to the scene just before 9 o'clock yesterday morning. Police have not released the cause of death or the identity of the person who died. We are waiting for more information at this time and will update the story once we learn more.
A Kern County jury yesterday convicted two men of murdering a father and son during a gas station robbery back in 2016. Darnell Hammond and Jim Langston were found guilty of 2 counts of murder in the robbery at Quality Gas in Lamont that killed owners Heriberto Aceves and his adult son, Juan Aceves. The 27-year-old Hammond, who prosecutors said fired the deadly shots, faces the possibility of being sentenced to death. Prosecutors said DNA evidence linked the two men to the robbery. Langston is set for sentencing October 20th, and the jury returns next week to begin the penalty phase of Hammond's trial.
The historic Bakersfield Fox Theater has canceled its showing of the Rocky Horror Picture Show scheduled for October 30th. Officials say they had to cancel due to circumstances beyond the theater's control. Refunds have been issued to the credit cards used to purchase tickets, but if you purchase tickets with cash, you can visit Fox Theater office with your tickets and ID to process your refund anytime between Monday and Friday from 11 a.m. till 1 p.m.
The next honor flight, Kern County, is less than a month away, and there's an urgent need for guardians to accompany our heroes. Last week, we showed you the homecoming of nearly 100 veterans on the first honor flight in nearly 2 years. It's an opportunity for veterans to see the memorials built in their honor. Honor Flight covers the cost of the veterans trip, but the cost to be a guardian to accompany a veteran is $1,200. The next honor flight is happening October 11th through the 13th. If you're interested in being a guardian or learning more, you can call Karen at 432-7822.
The community came out and helped us clear the shelters last weekend, but there are still dogs in need of forever homes. According to the Animal Care Center, about 80 dogs are still available for adoption. And that is why the shelter will continue waiving adoption fees until Saturday. During the Clear the Shelters drive, 140 cats and dogs were brought home, 50 of them alone last Saturday. To see what pets are available, you can head to the Animal Care's website, bakersfieldcity.us/Animal Care Center.
Oh my gosh, they're so cute.
Yeah.
Please go take them home.
Still
if you have room.
dozens, 80 dogs still waiting for a home.
And so's the one that my little boy fell in love with.
Oh, no.
So help me. Recapping our top stories here on this Wednesday, the Kern County Fair opens its gates today for the first time in 2 years. The fair strongly encourages masking and social distancing, though it will not require proof of vaccination or a mask for entry. Organizers expect to see tens of thousands of people attend today alone. Kern County hits its 100th homicide of the year. Sunday afternoon, the fatal stabbing happened on Spruce Avenue in Wasco. Officials identified the man killed as 23-year-old Javier Guadalupe Martinez. 24-year-old Sergio Acosta pleaded not guilty to a charge of first-degree murder in this case. The community came out and helped us clear the shelters last weekend, but there are still dogs in need of forever homes. 80 dogs are still available for adoption at the Animal Care Center. They are waiving adoption fees until Saturday.
5:33 is our time now, and dozens of families in Kern County are desperately waiting for good news, wondering if their loved one infected with coronavirus will be able to make it out of the hospital. It is a critical time as ICUs in Kern reach their highest level in 8 months. 80 people are in the ICU with coronavirus, the most people fighting for their lives since January 30th. Another 309 people are in the hospital receiving treatment for the disease. Meantime, we learned yesterday another 6 people have died from the virus. 1,521 lives have been lost to COVID-19 since the beginning of the pandemic. However, better days appear to be ahead as the number of new cases continues to decline. We learned yesterday another 446 people tested positive for the virus. Our most infectious day of this current surge was just 2 weeks ago.
Pfizer announced on Monday that its COVID-19 vaccine works for children ages 5 to 11. The company says it will seek U.S. authorization for this age group soon, a key step toward beginning vaccinations for kids. And uncertain parents are now turning to pediatricians for answers. Sarah Plake has more.
A lot of families out there, including ours, our kids already have, health issues going on. In our case, our daughter has type 1 diabetes, and we just don't know what this virus would do to them.
Families like Jeannie's have taken masking and COVID protocols so seriously because their kids don't have the option to get vaccinated. We spoke to them in July and followed up with them on Monday after Pfizer announced positive results of their vaccine trials in kids 5 to 11.
I've been in contact with my daughter's doctors and our doctors, just kind of chatting with them about it, because that's always kind of been our first step for a resource. And so, I'm confident that when it comes out, we'll take her to go get it.
Same for Joanna Bramlett's family, whose 9-year-old son Calvin also has a health condition.
He had a stroke when he was 3.5, caused by series of blood clots in his brain, and it was a very severe illness.
She says her kids have learned what it means to sacrifice throughout the pandemic, but they're ready to get back to activities put on pause.
As soon as we're in a position where the community is safe and where we're not worried about whether or not our 9-year-old would survive a virus like COVID.
It's that uncertainty that many parents say they just don't want to deal with anymore.
If our pediatrician supports it, then, she knows, like I said, way more than I could ever even imagine. And so I don't even feel like doing my own research online can even compare to the years and years that they have.
Lee Summit mom Chelsea Crooks had to pick up her 6-year-old early from school due to an exposure.
We are so ready.
And coming up in our next hour on Sunrise, we'll speak with a local pediatrician for her reaction to the Pfizer announcement and what it means for parents here at home.
Good news for people who received the single-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine. The company says it is holding up against COVID-19 variants and that a booster could do even more. According to Johnson & Johnson, if given within 2 months of the first shot, a second dose can provide 94% protection against moderate to severe COVID. The FDA has yet to authorize the extra shots for any of the vaccines, except for people whose immune systems are compromised. But still, some people aren't waiting. Federal health officials acknowledged in August people were getting unauthorized third shots because they believed they could.
Do we have any examples of people who have gotten an unauthorized booster and it's harmed them in any way?
No, I haven't seen any evidence suggesting that it's been harmful to people. And I understand that for some people that might mean, well, what's the downside? I think you want to make sure you're getting the right booster, the right dosing.
While health experts say the vaccines remain strong protection, people should wait for a final authorization on boosters. Local parole agent is set to be honored on Friday after risking his life to detain a shooting suspect. You may remember back on December 28th when shots were fired outside the Walmart on Fashion Plaza in East Bakersfield. Officials say Luis Cardenas heard the shots and saw people running before he approached the suspect. That suspect, now identified as Rodolfo Romo, surrendered to Cardenas without incident. When officers arrived, Agent Cardenas stayed at the scene with the suspect as they evacuated the store. No one was hurt. For his bravery, Cardenas will be awarded the Medal of Valor, CDCR's highest award. The ceremony is set to begin at 10 a.m. on Friday, and you can watch on CDCR's website and YouTube page.
5:39 now in education news. California is launching a statewide literacy campaign to help all third grade students in the state be able to read by the year 2026.
We already know that when students learn to read, they can read to learn anything, that this is a gateway skill that can carry them to any point in their life, in their career, and in their journey. We also know that when students don't learn to read by third grade, they're at greater risk to drop out of school, and they are at greater risk to end up in the criminal justice system.
State Superintendent of Public Instruction Tony Thurmond says the effort will also include a biliteracy milestone for dual language learners. Thurmond's plan for increasing literacy is expected to center on legislation that will fund professional learning for educators, the establishment of a task force to oversee and guide a statewide literacy campaign, and efforts to get more books into the hands of students and their families.
Yeah, reading is just so important, especially at an early age.
Yeah, and find something they like. Like my kids, they love the Pokemon books or, just superhero stuff, take them to the library, let them choose what they want.
But even early on, just even if your kid can't read, reading to them and showing the importance of reading, whether it be the newspaper or anything, just getting them familiar with how important it is so crucial.
And welcome back here at 5:50. New this morning, actor Willie Garson, best known for his role in Sex and the City, has died. Garson's son confirmed his death on Instagram last night, writing, quote, "I love you so much, Papa. Rest in peace." Garson played Stanford Blatch, Carrie Bradshaw's friend on Sex and the City in the series and films. He was also known for his roles on White Collar and Hawaii Five-0. A cause of death has not been disclosed. Garson was 57 years old.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is investigating the source of a salmonella outbreak. The CDC says there are 127 cases of salmonella being reported across 25 states, but that the true number of sick people could actually be higher. No word yet on what caused the infections. Public health officials say they're actively interviewing people about the foods they ate in the week prior to their first symptoms.
For nearly 8 years, a local brother and sister team known as Keepers of the Kern have been working to keep the Kern River clean. But this morning, they're ready to move on to new challenges. Rex and Barbara Hinkie announced they're trading in trash bags for fishing nets, retiring at least temporarily for the service after years of service to our community. The team says they're taking a much-needed break to gain perspective on our local wildlife and enjoy some much-needed rest and relaxation. They say they're proud of their work in partnership with the U.S. Forest Service, Bureau of Land Management, and Kern River Conservancy.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.